might feel what is there to say that hasn't already been said. But we must keep telling the stories of our Palestinian brothers and sisters because it matters to them. It matters to them. We raise our voices so others learn about the crimes being perpetrated day in and day out against the indigenous people of Palestine. Crimes committed with the moral and material support of our governments in the West. Crimes such as the deliberate starving to death of the civilian population. No aid, no food, no water, no fuel, no medical supplies have been allowed into Gaza for over 80 days, and Israel continues its bombing of aid distribution centres. Crimes such as the continued deliberate targeting of hospitals, of medical staff, of journalists, the targeting of 12-year-old Mohammed Badawil, a witness to the widely reported massacre of 15 paramedics, the targeted assassinations of journalists, making it harder and harder for Palestinians to share with the world what is happening to them. At a time when we witness the continued refusal of Israel to allow in foreign journalists, even as scores in the mainstream media finally have found their voices and sign a letter demanding entry to be able to assess and cover the situation. We are now hearing stories being reported of traitorous armed gangs being supported by the Israeli military to loot aid trucks and lure out Palestinians to confront them so that they can be killed. Yesterday we learned of the targeted murder of the young girl Yakin Hamad, a young girl with a big heart who had dedicated her days to supporting and encouraging her community. What was her crime? Being Palestinian and having a significant following on social media. Israeli politicians continue to state in the clearest of terms that this is not about Hamas. It never was. Rather, they want all Palestinians to be exterminated. Politicians such as Moshe Falen, who said on Israeli TV, "The enemy is not Hamas, nor the military wing of Hamas. Every child, every baby in Gaza is an enemy. We need to occupy Gaza and to settle it, and not a single Gazan child will be left there." I watched on Sky News a young woman grotesquely labelled as an Israeli activist state that they need to kill Palestinians' offspring so that they can't have offspring. This is a policy of extermination. This genocide has become a Holocaust. A recent survey in Israeli society recorded that 81% of Israeli society support the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians from Gaza and the West Bank. And additionally, 46% of Israelis supported the total extermination of Palestinians in any area that the Israeli military occupies. This underscores that the issue is not just Netanyahu and his administration, but one of the whole of Israeli society. A society that has been indoctrinated for 100 years into the racist, violent, settler colonialist ideology of Zionism. An ideology that has been exported and whose adherents have infiltrated our institutions and are undermining our own democracies and destroying our rights. And as I say that, I want to remind people that we should never accept the conflation of Jews and Zionists, whom they have sought to take hostage. Zionists come in all religions and none in all colours, as Biden himself reminded us. Zionists are anti-Palestinian racists who hide behind Judaism, and in doing so, they are not only anti-Semitic, but they endanger Jews. And so, as we acknowledge that, let us never allow ourselves into being emotionally blackmailed into accepting Zionism as a legitimate ideology any more than we would any other fascist ideology. We must stand up to this great evil as others in history have stood up similarly, refusing to allow barbarism to take root. We stand up recognizing that our futures are intertwined with those of the Palestinian people. We will not allow them to fade into the darkness because they are our guiding light. Our humanity is wrapped up in theirs as theirs is wrapped up in ours. So what I want to do, brothers and sisters, now is to read some posts that have moved me over the last couple of weeks. The first one I'm going to read by Yamen Nashwan, written on the 16th of May. A young man, an electrical engineer and writer, who posted a few days ago that he believes he will not survive and said goodbye to the world in a tweet. Words are no longer enough, but they're all we have. We are living in the worst time since this hell began. Famine is at its peak. The bombings never stop, and fleeing has become a daily routine. Every day we are forced to run again, and each time it gets harder. Even the ground beneath us feels like it is closing in. Imagine living every second waiting to die. Not as a metaphor, but literally imagine being alive and seeing a part of your body far from you. Imagine your whole family dead before your eyes, and you can't even bury them because you cannot reach them. Imagine your children crying from hunger, and you have nothing to give them. Is there any pain more brutal for a human being? What can we say to you to make you believe that we are living through a hell no one could survive? What can we do to make you feel what we feel? Even the sound of drones, just that sound is unbearable. Sometimes I hit my head just to silence it, or to remind myself I'm still here. When I say that death feels like peace, please believe me. To anyone I've ever wronged, forgive me. One day we will all stand before God. The next post is by Raja Sassa, a Palestinian in forced exile, who reminds us that we need to be more resilient and to not give in to despair. The situation in Gaza now is beyond dire. Israel is annihilating hundreds of Palestinians daily via bombardment and starvation. However, we must resist defeatism. Israeli apartheid will fall within the next couple of years. So remain hopeful and agitate to catalyze liberation. Remember, hope itself is revolutionary, mobilizing us into action. There's a harmful misconception that settler colonialism is permanent, like capitalism and other oppressive structures. Even Muslims say that Palestine won't be free till the day of judgment to justify their inaction. But Mexico is giving land back to its original owners. Indigenous peoples from Turtle Island to Australia forced regimes to recognise some of their rights. Apartheid fell in South Africa, and settlers are leaving Gaza. Gaza is undefeated and forced Israel to retreat multiple times. Even if Israel manages to fully ethnically cleanse Gaza this time and forcibly relocate its inhabitants to Libya, just like the rest of us exiled Palestinians, they will continue to struggle to return. So please stop perpetuating nihilistic narratives. Palestinians in Gaza are most honourable and faithful, defying Israel-US plans to expel them. How dare we give up? Outside of Palestine, the most effective way that we can stop the genocide is through boycott, divest and sanction, and we have made major strides there last year. So let's care for each other and keep going. And what I'm going to say to people as they stand there and smile and laugh about us standing here, I am so sorry for whatever happened to you in your life that has caused you to lose your own humanity. And I hope that you will receive the support you need to find it again. Do not think that our gatherings have no impact. They do. So I'm going to finish with this. It was written online by a young Palestinian, Haitham al-Masri. When I saw the videos the protests held for us, I couldn't hold back my tears. They poured down in joy. Not because our suffering had ended, but because the world had finally started to see the truth. Your solidarity is the light in our darkness. Your support is the hope we cling to in our darkest days. Your care eases a pain that has become unbearable. Thank you to everyone who has raised their voice for us, to everyone who wasn't afraid to speak the truth, to everyone who carried our pain as if it were their own. We will never forget you. You are in our hearts, in our prayers, in our hopes. All our love and gratitude to you. And that message is for you, friends, standing in front of me today, and for all those listening, and for all those who continue to use their voices, even as our governments try to intimidate us, even as they threaten us with arrest and prosecution and threats, and even as we are doxxed, even as we lose our jobs, we hold our humanity, knowing that we are on the right side of history. Please take this to heart, brothers and sisters. Do not doubt that our actions, our solidarity matters. We will not allow our Palestinian family to die in silence. We keep raising our voices, and to Netanyahu and every individual we say, we will not stop until Palestine is free. And you and your racist ideology is confined to the dustbin of history. And Zionism is remembered only as a stain in the history of a dark time that passed. Free, free.
Palestine.
Free, free.
Palestine.
Free, free.
Palestine.
Thank you.